business, there's no gray zone. Either you make money or you lose money. Pick one. The way I look at it is the reason that people pursue entrepreneurship is not about the greed of money, it's about the pursuit of personal freedom. Everybody in this room wants to be successful, and in entrepreneurship, the way to define success is you make money. And then eventually there comes a time in your life when you wake up and you say, shit, I'm rich. I never saw it coming. And I could do whatever I want. And most of the time what people do is work even harder because they like what they do. That's what entrepreneurship's about. It's setting yourself free to spend your time, your day in the things that you want to do. And the great part about it is nobody can tell you what that is. It's only you.
So the cash flow, is that just another winning indicator for you? Because I hear you talk a lot about cash flow, and I know it's really important to me. So why, and why is it important for the audience to measure?
Let me be clear about cash flow. It's the only thing I care about. Okay? There is no business without cash flow. You might be able to last for a couple of years borrowing money, getting more investors, but if you don't have cash flow, you're going to zero. It's that simple. And I think you have to face that reality as an entrepreneur. Cash flow is the blood of business. If you don't have any blood, you're dead. So you might as well look at it that way, respect it for what it is, realize that's the only way. And people say, oh, that's not true. What about this? What about that? And I say, whatever you're talking about is irrelevant if you don't have cash flow.
Then how does Bitcoin relate to that conversation?
I mean, look, I was not a Bitcoin guy till very recently. I bought some in 2017. I'd never anticipated this would happen. The first thing I started to get were hundreds of phone calls from people, investors of mine, companies that my CEO saying, these coins you own, were they mined in China? I don't know. Were they mined in a way that wasted electricity? I don't know. And all of a sudden I started saying to myself, I better get to know, because people care about that on Bitcoin. And so now my new thing is I'm starting to invest or buy miners myself, and I'm gonna just take that virgin coin, and that's the only coin I'm gonna own. Is it sustainable? Is it mined in a country that doesn't have sanctions on it or abuses human beings like China does? This is the new thing coming, Grant. If you're not sustainable, if you don't adhere to what customers want, like one of my companies is called Blue Land. It's trying to get rid of 50 million plastic bottles where cleaning fluid's put in. And they crystallize the cleaning fluid and you use a reusable glass bottle. And they ship it to you and it's a crystal, so you get your detergent, whatever it is, crystallized. That thing started, it was a Shark Tank deal last year, 0 sales. It's doing 80 million a year now.
Wow. How important are real assets going forward?
Well, they're real important. I mean, I think you got to start thinking about things like real estate because it's a hard asset.
Did you mention real estate?
I own plenty, don't worry. But I've trimmed back a bit on office commercial. I'm waiting to see how that works out. Getting more into the residential side. That's a good revenue. I don't have to tell you this, like you're the guy.
What happens now with everybody coming down here in the residential, the home price is going up 40%. It's just going to push into renters.
It's crazy, but that's the market.
And do you think that continues?
Yeah, I do. I'll tell you why. We're going to print $1.9 trillion. We're going to put it in a helicopter, and we're going to just shower it down on the people. Now, you can decide if that's good or bad, but that's happening as we speak. They just signed it into law in the last 48 hours. So that's inflationary. It will be. There's no question.
Let's say somebody was in Bitcoin at $500 and they're sitting at 57,000 a day.
Yeah.
When does a guy get off that train?
Here's the decision you got to make. And this is advice that's served me well, and my mother taught me this. Because let me tell you an equivalent story. A few years ago, my son, who was an electrical engineer, was interning at Tesla. And I was about to go on to halftime report on CNBC, and Tesla was downgraded that day. Before all the splits, it was trading at $236. And Trevor said to me, Dad, why don't you own some Tesla? I worked there as an intern. And I said, I want to short that stock. It's such a joke. It's a car company trading at a ridiculous price. He said, no, you're the joke. You don't understand what Tesla does. I work there. It's not a car company. It's a data company. every time a car drives a mile, it goes back to the server and it tells the resolution of that road gets better and better and better, because every mile a Tesla drives, it goes into the database of mapping for autonomous cars. And I thought, shit, I didn't know that. He said, no kidding. Like, you have a ton of money. Why don't you buy some of this stock? Because I don't have any money. So just before I went on the air, I took my phone out and I bought a whack of the stock. Then I forgot about it. And one day I opened up the thing and I was up like 1,000%. But it was way more than 5% of that portfolio. So I started selling it and selling it. It kept going up and I kept selling it and selling it.
So you're selling enough to get back down to 5%?
Yeah, I mean, it only recently corrected, so I bought it back up to 5%, but my cost base is zero. It doesn't matter what happens to Tesla now, I made a ton of money on it. That's the trick with Bitcoin. You keep it at whatever you decide. I like 5%, right now I'm at 3. If it goes past that, I sell it down. And my mother taught me this game. She said, this way you never cry the blues. You always have cash flow.